Now, in my humble collection of bikes, I have bikes that do several different things well. Some bikes do an awful lot well. The MT09 does virtually everything well as making a hooligan out of a gentle soul like me. And you can watch this video in 4K, just adjust your settings in the lower right-hand corner. This time of year, weather's so unpredictable. We try to get every ride we can. It rained for a week, but it's dried up now, and by noontime it's supposed to be 50 degrees. And I got a comment on the last MT09 video I thought was priceless. That I have a fella, I guess he's my age, and he said, when he rides his MT09, and by the way, he liked model aviation too, when he rides his MT09, it makes him feel 20 years old again. And I responded, when I ride my MT09, I become a hooligan, and I feel 18. So I'm 2 years ahead of him. Now maybe the guy is 90 years old. I don't know. Anyway, always funny comments for the people that respond in the comments section. We try to answer them on question and answer. But right now, we want to pre-flight the bike and get out on the open road. Now this morning, we really have a lot to celebrate here on the farm. Number one, it stopped raining, and I don't know where the heck all this rain's coming from. And number two, we have a nice MT09 to jump on here, fill it up with gas, get out on the open road for a few hours. But I never go out on a road without pre-flighting a bike. Just cheap insurance. And as this bike gets older, it's coming up on 4 years old, and I have tried to over maintain it, over check it, and it has served me well. In the almost 4 years that I've owned it, I have just enjoyed every ride. And I guess that's the bottom line. But every bike in my collection is a little bit different, makes you feel a little bit different. And this bike, the only word I know, the only word that seems appropriate, is you get on this bike and you become, for sure, a hooligan. Now, if you've never owned a motorcycle that makes you feel like a hooligan, well, there's a lot of things go into it. And one of the biggest things is that quick shifter. Going through the gears from any speed to any speed, highway, back road, whatever, it just tends to make you a hooligan. And it's hard to explain to somebody that's never ridden a bike with a quick shifter. It is the only bike in my collection that has ABS. And I tell people all the time, if you've never ridden a bike with ABS, in the beginning I was even skeptical, and a couple of times that it has saved my bacon, and you never can tell when they're coming, that's for sure. But if I were to get another bike, a brand new bike of course, I would absolutely want to have ABS, and I'd want to have, more than anything else, the combination of safety features and a quick shifter. Now another thing, where we're riding today, and we're riding after at least 4 or 5 days of solid rain. One of the things is all these little stones wash out into the street. There's slippery spots everywhere. And having traction control, and I always have it dialed up to the most invasive setting. And what's another nice little feature of this bike, while we still have relatively expensive gas, high-test gas up here is sneaking up on $5 a gallon. Well, getting 50 miles to the gallon just makes that just a little bit easier to tolerate. And one of the things that adds to it being a hooligan bike is for sure that engine with all the low end torque and a beautiful wide power band. And to be honest about it, I love the sound of it. When it's really winding out, I love that sound. And I spent the better part of 2 years making custom little brackets and parts and windscreens and modifying. The angle of the windshield even is modified. And of course, the Valentine radar detector, that without that, a lot of the fun goes out the window. That's like skydiving without a parachute. Well, ask me how I know. Anyway, since I've had the Valentine, I have had no issues at all with law enforcement. There's a lot of little things you don't think about with this bike that come back to be in your favor. The bike is relatively inexpensive relative to other bikes in the class, and even though there's bikes with better suspension or maybe better this, better that, this bike has the one thing going for it, that motor. And that motor, boy, until you've ridden it for a couple days and you really get to feel how that power band is, it's really nice. And my humble bike collection is one bike from every 10-year period that I've been involved in some way with motorcycling, with modifying them, painting them, riding them, racing them, dirt bikes, trials bikes, oh God, on-road, off-road bikes. And it took me, again, almost 2 years of making little parts and brackets, painting things. And there's details on this bike that you don't see until you look at it really close. Little things, even the screws that are on a stock bike in those little faux air swoops. Even the little things, there's tiny little carbon fiber parts that I made by the foot pegs, the side covers, that all of the little details, the tail tidy, and the list goes on and on. But the biggest one, of course, that really consumed a lot of hours and a lot of effort, of course, the wheels. And there's still a few little parts I wanted to make for the bike. I have plans for them. I actually have the material in-house, just don't have the time. This has been a very busy winter when we put a nice office for Karen in the house, among other things. And the bike was on the back burner a good part of this winter. Now, I'm always amazed at the people that share the common interests I have in motorcycling, model railroading, model airplanes, and actually some world travel. And they share the nice comments on the channel in the comments section, and I always super appreciate it. If you do enjoy these videos and you do like the motorcycles, the trains, or the model planes, take a split second and hit the like button. I really appreciate the support for the channel. Now it's time to jump back in that comfortable saddle, and another little surprise, that seat really is good. We got to get back to the farm. Well, this just turned out to be another fabulous day for the MT09. And I know, I have not had a bad ride yet. Every time I get on this bike, I'm either 18, I'm 20, I don't know, but I'm always a hooligan. So I hope you did enjoy the video, and if you did, again, share the hot link with your friends on social media, share it with anybody that might have an interest in the things we share on this channel. And of course, thank you all so much for watching.